Hi, it's Steve from PartSelect. Today we're going to show you how to change the rear drum support roller kit on your dryer. It's a really easy job. All you're going to need is a putty knife, a 1/4 inch and 5/16 nut driver, a pair of slip joint pliers, and a flat blade screwdriver. Let me show you how we do it. Now before we begin this repair, the first thing we'll need to do is to disconnect the power from the dryer. So if it has a cord and plug on it, simply remove it from the socket. And if it's a hardwired dryer, you'll need to locate the fuse or breaker panel and disconnect the power at that point. Now next we'll need to lift the top up so that we can remove the front panel. So with a putty knife, we'll go in about 4 inches in from either end and just push in lightly to disconnect the little spring tab that holds the top down. Now next we're going to remove 2 1/4 inch hex head screws near the top of the front panel that secure it to the cabinet. Now we can tilt the front panel out slightly. We'll disconnect the wire harness clip that fastens to the top of the front panel. And then we'll pull the door switch out, and it's held in place with a little spring clip bracket. We can just pop that out, put that set aside. Tilt the front panel down low enough that we can disengage the 2 tabs on the bottom, and then we can set that aside. Now with the front panel removed, our next step will be to remove the drum. So we first of all need to release the tension on the belt. So we'll reach in over top of the blower housing, find the idler wheel, and then we're going to pull that towards the right and roll the belt off of it. Unhook the belt from the motor pulley. You should be able to slide that belt free, and we'll lift up in the rear of the drum to take the drum off the rear rollers, and then pull it straight out through the front. That gives us access to both rear drum rollers. So we'll take a flat blade screwdriver, put it in behind that E-ring and pop those off. And slide the roller off to the front and discard them. Now I'll have access to the 5/16 screws that hold the drum roller shaft in place, so we can remove those. There'll be one screw that'll be behind the rear felt. I'll lift that up just enough to get the nut driver on it. Now before we install the new rear shafts, these screw holes are just drilled at present, so it's easier to take one of those 5/16 screws and just start to thread in it first, at least on one hole on each of those brackets, so that we can hold it in place while we put in the second screw. Now they will come through from the back side. Tighten those screws securely. And we'll do the same thing for the roller shaft on the other side. We'll start those screws just to have a thread for it to grip. And again, we'll mount that shaft from behind. Make sure we don't catch that rear felt under the head of the screw. And again, tighten both securely. Now on the right hand roller, we will install a thick fiber washer first, then the drum roller itself, And the drum rollers are marked front on one side, and the back side has a projection where the hub is. So make sure that the front is pointed towards you. And we'll take one of the thin washers, install that on the front, and then install the new E-clip. Line that E-ring up with the slot on the shaft, and then with a pair of slip joint pliers, we'll press that firmly into place. Now on the left-hand side, there is no washer on the back. We'll just slide the roller on, put a thin washer on the front, and again, line up the E-ring with the slot in the end of the shaft, and then press it in place with a pair of pliers. We're to remove and discard all the old components, and then we're ready to reinstall the drum. So while supporting the drum with the belt, push it into position. Then we need to put that rear lip, which is shaped exactly the same as the front, over top of the drum rollers. Normally you will need to rotate the drum a few times to get it to sit into place. Once it turns freely and is nice and flush, we're ready to put the belt on. So line the belt up roughly where the belt mark would have been on the exterior of the drum, with the rib side towards the drum. We'll reach in, find that idler pulley, wrap the belt over the top of it, and we'll pull the idler arm far enough to the right that we can get the belt around the motor pulley. Feel, make sure that nothing is binding anywhere. Then we'll do a test rotation with the drum in a counterclockwise direction, and rotate it a few times. You should see the blower wheel turning, and the belt should stay lined up and flat against the drum. Now we're ready to put the front panel back on. So we'll locate those two slotted holes in the bottom of the front panel over the tabs. Make sure they're engaged fully. And next we'll install the door switch. It may require that you open the door and hold that spring clip forward. And then simply spread those two spring clips. Make sure they grasp both sides of the switch and holds that in place. And close the door up again. We'll engage the wire retaining clip to the top of the front panel. And then we need to make sure that two plastic pins at the bottom portion of the cabinet line up with corresponding holes in the front panel. And we can hold that in place. We'll replace the 2/4 inch hex head screws at the top. And once we've tightened both of those screws securely, we can lower the main top. There's a couple of openings there that will line up with these two plastic spring catches. And just snap it into place. We're ready to reconnect the power, and our repair is complete. I told you it was an easy job. Thanks for watching, and good luck with your repair.